Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm just gonna show you how I made this fabulous wig I'm wearing. So for making this wig, I had already measured the frontal on my head. I pre-cut all the excess that wasn't needed, and now I'm just securing the frontal to the mannequin. On securing the frontal, I put my frontal like a little bit up below where the stocking cap starts. I secured this, I braided all the hair away, and then I start sewing. So for securing my frontal, I normally just start sewing the frontal on the cap from the middle downwards, and then I do the same technique on the other side. So I'll go ahead and sew this all the way down, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so I'm all done sewing down the frontal on the wig cap. Alright, so when we're sewing the extension on the cap, you do not want to sew the extension directly on the front of the cap, the frontal. That's what I'm trying to say. The frontal, you want to start like at the midline, just as if you were sewing on doing a sewing on braids. You don't start from the front on back. You start from the back and continue on. I feel like I just mumbled a lot. And remember guys, we do not want to sew directly through the elastic band because your wig will not stretch. Trust me, I'm telling you this from experience. It will not stretch, and then you're going to be extremely mad. Okay, here I'm going to go through the weft because that's where I'm going to stop and wrap over the weave. And I'm only doing that for security. I normally only go through the weft at the end of where my extension stops, and I'm starting a new row. And I do that because I don't want it to bulge. So here I'm just tacking the weave down, and then I'll continue sewing. Again, we're just going to secure the end and wrap, tack, and sew. That sounds good. Okay, so again, I just wrap the ear over, tack it down, and then I continue sewing. And I do this because I found it's easier to tack the ear, so you already see what you're going to be sewing versus the hair hanging down and all over the place, and you have to like hold it up and do all of that. So when I tack it, it's right there, don't move, and I just continue sewing across. Okay, so now I've reached where the weave actually meets the closure. And when I'm right here, I normally just swoop the ear in a circular motion and then sew it down. And I found that when I do it this way, the weave actually falls and blends into the closure like perfectly. So I'm going to continue to sew both sides of the hair like this in the circular motion. And we're going to continue until we reach the top. It's going to start maybe looking like a wide U or a deep U or a C or of some sort. But when it starts looking that way, we're going to stop and start braiding across. And why did I just say braiding? Sewing across. Okay, I'm losing my mind a bit. Okay, so again, you see how I turn the hair and sew up. I didn't just leave it and just tack it right there. Just bring it up and sew it up. Then I'm gonna tack. Yep, I'm gonna make a seal and flip, tack, and sew. I kind of like that. Flip, tack, and sew. Okay, so right here is a perfect example of why it's better to like tack the hair, because when you don't, you have to keep holding it in the where you want to sew it, or it's going to keep hanging. Okay guys, so here I'm actually going to show you when I was talking about instead of continuing the circular motion to stop and bring the hair across. So I'm just going to spray the hair down a bit just to get it out of my way, because it's kind of all over the place right now, and it will show you more exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm just gonna flick the hair over, tack it down, and then continue to sew across. And the reason why I didn't continue around in the circular motion is because you're gonna continue to get that deep circle look, and then you're gonna have to try and correct it. We're trying to work smarter, not harder. Okay, so again, we're just gonna flick it over and sew across. But with this one, I'm going to bring it up to the closure, because we're still not trying to have that large amount of sew across. We're trying to get it as small as possible. So I'm just gonna follow this step and continue sewing across after I make this knot. and tuck it down. And guys, you want to make sure that where you're meeting your extension and the frontal, I don't know why I'm having a speech like I can't talk today. What I'm trying to say is, when you reach where the extension is meeting the closure, you want to make sure you tack it down properly. And if it's not tacking down properly, just cut the hair and tack it, because it's gonna be bulging, and we're not trying to look like a hot mess out here. No, we're not. Okay guys, this is exactly how I wanted it to look in terms of the extension sewing across, because we're trying to have as little as possible extension just going straight across on the frontal. So right here I'm just going to do another flip and stitch this extension down, and then I continue around in the C, because we're really trying to get it as small as possible. This is coming together so perfectly. Look how small that is versus if we had sewn the hair straight across, which would have looked like a hot mess. So here we are at the top. Hey. Okay guys, so we just want to make sure that we tack this last piece of track down. Tack it down. I'm so happy to finish. Just gotta make sure it is perfect, because it's the last piece. And we cut in the hair. Never, never, ever cut the hair like this. Never cut it like this. Nope, it just don't work. Perfect. Now this is how you want to cut the hair, because once you cut the weft, that's all it is. The hair will come off. But if you cut it from the other way, you will cut your hair. You will cut, and it's gonna look, it might not that much show, but because I'm like this skeptic, guys, no, don't do that, because RO.RO said that. And again, okay, so you see how the hair all falls together? If we had sewn it straight across, it wouldn't. You would have to flat iron it and do all of these extra things to it. But because we sewed it in a circular motion, it all came together. And guys, please, if you want to see the cutting process of how I cut it and style it, just click the link. I'll have it down and you can see it. Please remember to like this video. Thank you for watching.